On today's show, we'll update you on that mysterious Malaysian plane, along with a close look at the pyramids of Guatemala.
Also, we'll take a look at exciting weekend in entertainment, and Bill Nye the Science Guy came to Cal State Fullerton. It was standing room only. We'll tell you about this important message. All this and much more. OC News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to OC News. Hi, I'm Jen Moynihan.
And I'm Cynthia Laliker. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
It's Cesar Chavez Day, and to celebrate, students enjoy a spoken word and performances in front of the Humanities Building this afternoon. Now they are preparing for a student-faculty panel along with a special guest speaker. Here's Mimi Sessions in the Titan Student Union with more.
The festivities continue as we celebrate Cesar Chavez Day here at Cal State Fullerton. The next event will be today at 3 o'clock with the co-founder of the Farm Workers Association, Dolores Huerta. I have Luz right here. Luz, let us know a little bit about the migrant, was it the migrant?
Education program?
Education program.
Yes. I had the privilege of being a student here at Cal State Fullerton, and I'm in the nursing program, so I had an opportunity to learn about the migrant program, which is thanks to Cesar Chavez. We have that program. It benefits all the people that work out in the fields. They provide water, clothing, everything for them, and education. Because as we all know that education for the children is very difficult when they're going from one place to another. So the concentration of migrant is that the education of the children. Keep them out of the fields.
Okay. Well, thank you. You guys heard it here. We are at the TSU in pavilions A, B, and C. Make sure you guys come down here from 3 to 9 p.m. today. Reporting for OC News, this is Mimi Sessions.
California State University Chancellor Timothy P. White has approved the Student Success Initiative taking effect in the fall 2014 semester. Students at Cal State Fullerton will pay an average of $60.33 per semester in additional fees for the 2014-15 academic year. The mandatory fee will increase again beginning in fall 2016 semester to $181. The initial proposal was set at $240 per semester. Cal State Fullerton will join 10 of the 23 Cal State University campuses that have implemented the Student Success Initiative. The fee is intended to increase academic progress goals, increased advising, additional bottleneck courses, and longer library hours to begin the semester. Fresno State, San Diego State, and Cal State Dominguez Hills are currently considering similar fees. The Cal State Fullerton fee is the 9th lowest among fees that have been approved.
The results of the ASI presidential elections are in. Harpreet Bath and Michael Badal were announced the winners last week. Bath and Badal won 61% of the vote. The other candidates, Missy Mendoza and Josue Rodriguez, received 38%. However, only around 3,000 students participated in this year's elections. President Bath is a 21-year-old business major. His running mate Badal, also 21, is a double major in political science and philosophy. The two plan to begin their term focusing on the implementation of the newly passed Student Success Initiative. The fee will take effect in the fall 2014 semester. Bath and Badal also plan to increase open student communication by hosting events and public meetings on campus.
Bill Nye the Science Guy visited Cal State Fullerton last week for the 11th annual Math and Science. Nye received a standing ovation and had the crowd laughing all night. Jasmine Collier has the story.
Cal State Fullerton held a 2-day math and science symposium for its 11th year. On the second day of the symposium, CSUF welcomed Bill Nye the Science Guy as a keynote speaker. After waiting in line for the jam-packed event, students were able to enter the TSU stunning bow ties and big smiles.
I'm here at the 11th Annual Math and Science Symposium, where we're just moments away from keynote speaker Bill Nye the Science Guy taking the stage. This event has been sold out for weeks, and some of the students have been here since 11 a.m. It's going to be a full house.
I think now, as I'm older, it's more important to learn about who he is as Bill Nye, the scientist. I mean, as a kid, the Science Guy is really great and was a lot of fun, but I like hearing about him now, seeing what he's doing, hearing about his research, and seeing his debates. Yeah.
Bill Nye had a media junket where he talked about his future plans as a scientist, what he sees for the current youth, and how we as a whole can change the world. As Bill Nye made his grand entrance to the stage, the crowd roared in excitement to finally see their favorite childhood teacher in the flesh. The very humorous Nye had the complete attention of all the attendees, and he wowed the audience with a PowerPoint presentation that explained the many chapters of his life and career.
Having Bill Nye is amazing. I know everybody that's in here knows him well. He's made science fun.
Getting the Science Guy here on campus was a really big deal, and that's obvious from the huge turnout. To continue the story, we now turn to Daily Titan News editor Samuel Mountjoy. Thanks, Samuel.
Hi, it's good to be here.
So, okay, Bill Nye came to campus with a pretty serious message. Sam, can you explain?
He urged students to think a lot about the future. You know, that we have students on campus that are studying engineering, the hard sciences, chemistry, biology, and they're going to be the ones that are going to go into those fields that will be solving potentially world-affecting problems that we have on the planet. We have killer asteroids that scientists are worrying about. We have climate change that we have to worry about. So the students studying science right now, they'll be the ones that are going to be going out into the field and trying to come up with such solutions to those problems.
Thank you. The message was really serious, but he delivered it a funny way. Just what would we expect of Bill Nye? Do you think the message resonated with the people in the audience?
I definitely think it did. He's a really funny guy. He's billed as a stand-up scientist a lot of the times. So, he was funny. He told stories about his mom and his dad and his childhood that he had. He had a lot of jokes. He was even joking about the missing Malaysian plane, which, got some laughs, some groans, but it was funny. And I think that really helped his message, and it's something that I think throughout his career he's been funny, he's made science understandable, approachable, and I feel like that was something that he stayed true to what we expect of Bill Nye the Science Guy.
That's awesome. What was the honorarium paid to him?
Well, the Natural Sciences and Mathematics Interclub Council, Bobby Wright, the chair, he had to raise $35,000 to get him to come to campus. So he worked with a lot of different interclub councils, and he really he had the support of the ASI leaders to raise that money and make sure that we could get just this spectacular keynote speaker for the symposium that he ended, the Science and Math Symposium.
Did he touch up upon any of the importance of science and technology education?
Yeah, that was something that he really focused on. It was something that is obviously really important to try to get students to go into science. If they don't have a strong scientific education in elementary school and high school, then they won't be interested in science when they get to college. And that's when you really start doing lab work and you get really into the field when you get to college. So he talked a lot about, and that's what he's been doing his whole career with Bill Nye the Science Guy. It was a children's show, but he talked a lot about how we get more science funding and how we really improve the science education that we're getting in elementary school.
So how do you feel that how is it improving the elementary schools?
Well, he talked a lot about how we get more elementary school students interested in science. And it's something that isn't always easy. And it's something that sometimes, like he said, you have to go to an elementary school and use props. Science has a lot of props. You can blow things up. You can light things on fire. And it's something that a lot of other fields don't have. And it's something that can be really utilized to elementary school students to try to get them interested in science.
That sounds really great, Sam. So what did you think that you liked best about his talk?
Well, he was funny. It was something that I was just glad to see that he's a real person and he's not this, you know, I wasn't that starstruck because he was just so real. He really humanized the science and what he was talking about.
Now for world news.
Updates on the missing Malaysia flight, President Obama's trip to Europe, and the Washington landslide. Here's Adriana Martinez with World News.
There are still more questions than answers about Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. The Malaysian Prime Minister says the flight ended in the Indian Ocean, but we still don't know how. Laurie Segal tells us about a company that says it could have prevented weeks of searching.
When Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 disappeared, the story of what went wrong vanished with it. The answers might be stuck in the flight data recorder, the so-called black box. But what if we had those answers all along?
We would know where the aircraft has gone, where it is, and we would have information on what happened in the meantime.
Canadian company Flight makes live streaming data recorders that send information in real time. It's part of a satellite-based system that monitors a plane's exact location, engine conditions, and more.
The system transmits every 5 to 10 minutes on a normal flight.
If something goes wrong, like the plane deviating from its route, the system will start streaming live second-by-second data.
That kind of information is not only life-saving, but it adds a tremendous measure of security for our country.
There are several mechanisms that transmit a plane's data, but Hayden says unlike those systems, the technology behind Flight is more extensive, sharing a tremendous amount of information. So much information, critics say it could be difficult to monitor and analyze if widely adapted. Right now, Flight's technology is only fitted to 350 planes, run by 40 operators. It can be installed for about $100,000. Normal data transmission costs carriers between a few dollars to $15 per flight hour and goes up for continuous streaming in a rare emergency.
They're very cost sensitive and they simply will not add additional safety measures unless mandated by the federal government.
As investigators look for high-tech clues in the search for Flight 370, the high-tech data recorder is getting a second look.
The technology exists, it's in service, it's economical, and the question now is how to get more widespread use of it.
Laurie Siegel, CNN, New York.
The president starts his overseas trip at a nuclear summit at The Hague, but some of his attention will be turned to Ukraine as he meets with the international leaders. Military brass says it's worrisome that Russian troops are gathered along Ukraine's border. Andrew Spencer reports.
President Barack Obama arrived in the Netherlands this morning for the first day of a 5-day trip overseas. It comes after his announcement last week of 2 rounds of sanctions against Russia. The Obama administration now says those measures are working.
We had the finance minister of Russia worrying out loud in public about the hit that the economy was taking. We had the leader of the Association of Entrepreneurs, basically the oligarchs club, saying, I'm really worried about investment drying up.
Much of the president's trip was originally focused on nuclear security, with a world forum at The Hague and a meeting with G7 leaders on Monday.
And what we've seen the president do in recent weeks and what we'll see him do this week is bring the world together in support of Ukraine, to isolate Russia for its actions in Ukraine, and to reassure our partners and allies in NATO and in Europe.
The controversial annexation of Crimea was highlighted this weekend as the Ukrainian naval insignia was removed from the country's only submarine, taken down by Russian naval officers. Officials now call it worrisome that troops massed along Ukraine's eastern border may be poised for a move at the pro-Russia Transnistrian region, a breakaway of the former Soviet Republic of Moldova. After Obama's stops at The Hague and in Brussels this week, he'll have his first ever meeting with Pope Francis on Thursday. He ends the week with a stop meant to bolster strained U.S. relations with Saudi Arabia. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
Rescue crews in Washington state are trying to find up to 18 people missing after a massive landslide there. The landslide tore through an area north of Seattle, killing 8 people and injuring at least 7 others. Paul Verkaman has the details.
Total devastation, and it's just unbelievable. It reminds me of what a tornado looks like when it's touched the ground.
Saturday's landslide leveled about 1 square mile of Snohomish County, Washington. Heavy rainfall over the last month saturated the ground to the point where it just gave way.
I was coming down the hill, I just saw the darkness, like somebody wants to grab you from the, and everything was gone, like 3 seconds.
Everything within that path has been leveled, and that is something I've certainly never seen before.
The governor adds every effort is being made to find survivors. Officials stress while this is still an active rescue operation, efforts are being hindered by the river of sludge, which is 15 feet deep in some places.
Never seen it like this. It's slid a couple of times in my life, but never nothing like this.
In addition to the loss of life, at least 6 homes were destroyed, and emergency officials are warning of possible flooding in nearby areas.
It's been very surreal. The tragedy is unthinkable. We're just praying for the best and hoping.
In Snohomish County, Washington, I'm Paul Verkaman reporting.
Follow our travel correspondent Abraham Williams as he boards a plane in Guatemala City and flies to Petén for a hike through the Mayan temples.
As the Pacaya volcano erupts outside my airplane window, I take off into the clouds over Guatemala City for a 45-minute flight over the country's landscape and into the jungle of Petén. With a landing strip in sight, the plane lands, and an hour later, I'm at the Tikal National Park. I joined tour guide Mario Ruano with his group and began the long hike surrounded by nature and wildlife. A quick stop to admire Guatemala's national tree, the ceiba, and this little guy. I call him Rocky. While Mario was able to keep the tour moving, I got a chance to capture exotic animals with my camera. High up in the trees, I was able to find Woody and also Stretch, the spider monkey.
Oh my God, look at that pose. He's gonna come back. Hold on, right the pose.
But back on the ground, we got down to business and found signs of human life from 2,000 years ago with stelae used to document important dates or people.
We have a long headdress here, and his hand, he's holding like a scepter, a symbol of power.
And we walked. It's hard to believe that 2,000 years ago the area was cleared of all the trees, and this was a busy city with 90,000 people. Mario brought us to the foot of the 180-stair climb to the top of Temple 4. Only the front portion is restored now. A 2-headed snake was carved into the wooden architecture, and that's why this pyramid is known as either Temple 4 or the Temple of the 2-headed snake. For movie buffs, the top of this site is also known as the place where the Millennium Falcon comes to land at the Rebel base on Yavin 4. Just a little Star Wars trivia. And back to the trail. Did you hear that? That is not a Wookiee. That is the sound of a male howler monkey, arguably the loudest animal on Earth. He can be heard from up to 2 miles away. With no immediate danger, the adventure continues. This time, the trail opens up to this ancient site. Temple 1 is the most famous for the tomb of the king known as A Cacao, or Mr. Chocolate. And a bit of Mayan culture from the past. They believed when the sun came out, the jaguar was triumphant in the night, and that's why jaguar skin was the symbol of the sky filled with stars. Thanks to Mario Ruano from the archaeological site of Tikal, in Petén, Guatemala, Abraham Williams, reporting.
That's all for World News today. Back to you, ladies.
Just when it was starting to heat up here in Fullerton, it looks like there is a bit of a cold front heading in. Currently here on the Cal State Fullerton campus, it's a cool 63 degrees and mostly cloudy. The high today is 73 with humidity level of 67%. Heading into the week, we see a steady range of temperatures with Tuesday at 72 degrees. Wednesday, grab your umbrellas because it's going to be a high of 66 and a low 30% chance of rain. Rounding out the week, expect a sunny and clear day on Thursday with a high of 68 and Friday a high of 72 and partly cloudy. Let's take a look at national weather map. Currently here on the West Coast, it is a cool 64 degrees in Los Angeles. Heading up the coast to San Francisco, it is going to be 70 degrees. Over in Minneapolis, residents are feeling a cold 29 degrees and 35 in Chicago. Over on the East Coast, Boston is also having a frigid start to the week with a chilly 31 degrees. With snow in parts of the U.S., it looks like we don't have it so bad here in California. That was your weather update for Monday, March 24th. There is just 1 week left to sign up for healthcare insurance. Here's Yorlene Guido with more.
For uninsured Americans, March 31st is the last day for open enrollment to sign up for healthcare insurance. If you do not sign up by next Monday, the penalty is $95 per adult and $47.50 per child, up to a maximum of $250 per household or 1% of household income, whichever is greater. If you already have health insurance through an employer plan, Medicare, or Medi-Cal, you do not have to worry, you are covered. To apply through Covered California, you can log into coveredca.com to create an account or look up a local certified enrollment agent in your area to assist you. When visiting an enrollment agent, make sure you take your ID, Social Security card, household income, and proof of immigration status, either your residence card or naturalization certificate, whichever applies. Once your enrollment agent has filled out your application, you will be told if you qualify for Medi-Cal or if you qualify for premium assistance through Covered California. If you qualify for Covered California, your agent will review the healthcare plans with you and help you decide which plan is best for you. Remember, there is just 1 week left to sign up. Do not wait until last minute. Reporting for OC News, Yorlene Guido.
The eradication of polio in India, an unfortunate obesity surgery, and some sunscreen advice, all right now with Jasmine Collier in Health.
India is celebrating a major public health victory over a different killer. The government says that despite incredible challenges, it has eradicated polio. The World Health Organization is expected to make it official on March 27th. Our Malika Kapoor has the story.
On a bright winter morning, while the adults sew and stitch, the children of Howrah district run around nearby. One finds it difficult to keep up. Rukhsar Khatun is India's last known polio victim, diagnosed with the disease 3 years ago. When she runs, her feet hurt, her father says. Papa, I am tired. Then she has to sit down, he tells us. I feel so bad. Her situation is tough, but it's a lot worse for Meghan Kumar, one of the millions of people in India crippled by polio. He struggled to even get to New Delhi St. Stephen's Hospital, hoping to get surgery so he can at least stand.
It takes the dignity out of a person's life. To be crawling on fours like an animal, I think that's terrible.
Dr. Varghese runs India's only dedicated polio ward, also hopefully the country's last.
This is indeed an historic day.
India is now polio-free. It's one of the biggest global public health achievements of recent times and a triumph for India's government and partners that fought the disease. Polio usually affects children under the age of 5 when they drink contaminated water. It then affects the nervous system, causing muscular atrophy, disfiguration, and paralysis.
The population density
the insanitary conditions, impure drinking water, malnourishment, and the highest incidence of enteric diseases anywhere in the world. Now, the confluence of all these factors made India such a difficult place from where to get polio out.
Despite all the odds, India defeated the disease with mass vaccinations. More than 2 million health officials went door to door to give millions of children polio drops. Did you ever think you would see the end of polio in India in your lifetime?
No, I never thought so. I never thought so.
It's too late for Rukhsar. She can never be cured. The disease can only be prevented. But hopefully, there'll be no more children in her footsteps. Malika Kapoor, CNN, Howrah.
A Texas girl is recovering from a surgery for a rare medical condition that made her rapidly gain weight. People around the world were able to follow the operation as it happened. Scott Wegener reports the girl's parents wanted the surgery tweeted live to draw attention to the rare illness.
12-year-old Alexis Shapiro is having a rough go at life, and Cincinnati Children's is working to set it right. In 2011, after the removal of a benign brain tumor, she started gaining weight at an alarming rate, 2 pounds a week.
She has a condition known as hypothalamic obesity.
That brain surgery damaged her pituitary gland as well as the part of her brain that signals hunger. Because of that, the 51-pound girl always felt like she had to eat. Also damaged, her body's ability to produce adrenaline. As a result of that, she didn't have the energy to burn off extra calories. In 2.5 years, she gained 89 pounds. She was taken into surgery at Cincinnati Children's Friday for gastric bypass to limit the amount of food she could take in. In addition to the severe medical problems, her condition had Alexis and her family subject to ridicule for supposedly allowing her to become obese.
Because so few people are aware of this. It's a rare medical condition, but it looks for all the world like obesity that we see from other causes.
To shed light on that fact, the entire procedure was tweeted live by children's staff. As the surgeons got a better look inside, they modified their strategy. They removed about 80% of her stomach and installed a sleeve over the rest. The doctors aren't sure whether Alexis will need to come back for the original procedure.
We will monitor her very carefully.
Scott Wegener, 9 on Your Side, Cincinnati Children's.
Have you had enough of winter? Are you ready to run outside and worship the sun or lie on the beach and soak up some rays? Good for you, but doctors warn, be careful. Even being out in the mild spring weather can cause sunburns, so don't forget your sunscreen. Which ones give the best protection? Here's Martha Shade with today's Health Minute.
Hello, warm weather. It's been a long time. But even in these milder temperatures, dermatologists will tell you you should always protect yourself from the sun's rays. Studies have shown that applying the correct sunscreen can protect you from developing skin cancer and can even keep you looking younger. The question is, which ones do the best job? According to the Food and Drug Administration, every ingredient in sunscreens must be approved and is therefore safe. So look for the following. Oxybenzone. Oxybenzone effectively protects your skin from harmful UVA and UVB rays. Also look for retinol palmitate, an ingredient in sunscreen that protects against premature aging by keeping skin moist. The American Academy of Dermatology recommends an SPF of 30 or greater. Look for broad spectrum protection. It may say UVA and UVB protection. And always get a sunscreen that is water resistant. Now go out and enjoy the weather. For today's Health Minute, I'm Martha Shade.
When we come back, we'll get an update on Cal State Fullerton athletics from over the weekend.
Also a look at how Fullerton native and Seattle Seahawk Derrick Coleman combats bullying.
Titan TV is a student-operated facility maintained by students.
It's on the Cal State Fullerton campus, and it's a great opportunity for Cal State Fullerton students to get hands-on experience directly in a studio environment.
Working with Titan TV puts me in this professional environment. Everyone here is really fun to work with, and everyone just gets along so well. I'm having a great time.
odds of this daughter of a clergyman spending 11 weeks at #1 on the U.S. singles charts? 1 in 19 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org.
Cal State Fullerton made a lot of headlines this weekend. CSUF's basketball team defeated Long Beach State, and the Titan track and field women's team took over UC Irvine Spring Break Invitational. Denise Salcedo has this and more.
Cal State Fullerton's baseball team has a lot to celebrate. This past Sunday, Titans head coach Rick Vanderhook took his 100th career victory as a head coach and became the second fastest coach in the program's history to reach 100 wins. Cal State Fullerton defeated Long Beach State with a 6-5 victory. And for Titan track and field, Destiny Brown broke the meet record in the 100-meter dash and won the 200-meter dash at the UC Irvine Spring Break Invitational. This Saturday, the men's golf team competed in the Desert Shootout at the Palm Valley Country Club in Goodyear, Arizona. But after taking first place in the first 2 rounds, they ended up finishing in 4th place. Their next competition will be mid-April in the Winchester Classic. As for the CSUF women's golf team, they will be participating in the 2nd annual Farms Invitational. The tournament is being hosted by San Diego State University. The 3-day 54-hole event begins today. CSUF is currently ranked at the number 84 spot in the entire nation, according to the NCAA head-to-head rankings. Fullerton native and Super Bowl champ Derrick Coleman was honored at the Fullerton City Council meeting last week. Our very own Yahaira Perez has the story.
Tuesday, March 18th, the city of Fullerton held a special presentation that filled the room up with football fans and proud Fullerton citizens. Fullerton Mayor Chafee and the council honored Derrick Coleman for his actions on and off the field. Coleman is the first deaf offensive player in national football history. He is an inspiration to those around the world facing challenges to pursue their dreams. As Derrick Coleman leaves this upcoming April for Seattle to be reunited with his Seahawks teammates, the city of Fullerton remains proud of the hometown hero. This is Yahaira Perez for OC News.
Former NFL safety Darren Sharper to appear in court today in Arizona rape case. Former NFL safety Darren Sharper is expected to appear in court today to face charges in an Arizona rape case. A state grand jury indicted him for allegedly drugging and raping 2 women in Tempe last year. Sharper is also under investigation in California, Louisiana, Nevada, and Florida in cases of alleged sexual assault. So far, he has only been charged in California and Arizona. Sharper remains jailed in Los Angeles after being denied bail earlier this month. He has pleaded not guilty in the California case and denies the other charges. His attorney said he maintains any sex was consensual.
You are to surrender your passport. It's going to happen to your attorney, the district attorney's office. I'm going to order you to stay away from a location called Bootsy Bellows, 9229 Sunset Boulevard. Is there any other restrictions?
He's to stay in Los Angeles at a hotel locally.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay.
And the passport will be going to LAPD robbery homicide today.
That's fine.
That's no problem, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Sharper, you have a right to be arraigned today. You're going to continue back to February 20th, 2014 at the request of your lawyer. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. And counsel join that?
Counsel join, Your Honor.
People?
Join. Thank you.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Baseball season is in the air, and this weekend I'll be traveling up north for the Oakland A's opening day. A great way to kick off spring break. That's all for me. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Denise. And when we come back, your latest in entertainment news. And see what group of kids are doing to make a difference when it comes to cancer. This and more when we return to OC News.
Titan Radio is Cal State Fullerton's own radio station located in the basement of Pollock Library. Students can stop by and pick up an application during operating hours. Anyone who has a computer and internet can listen to us, www.titanradio.org. A lot of people who want to pursue TV and film usually start out in radio, so it's always a great opportunity.
Hi, how are you doing today?
What looks good?
Our special today is shrimp scampi. It's been sitting around for about a week.
Excuse me, what time are you guys leaving? We're gonna rob your house tonight.
Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
Who made the cover of Vogue, who's surprising us with their relationship decisions, and what were the most seen movies over the weekend? Rebecca Penner has your scoop on entertainment news.
Kim Kardashian and Kanye West take the heat over a magazine cover, and Alyssa Milano is having another baby. Here's more.
Kim Kardashian and Kanye West are on the cover of Vogue, but not without some Hollywood backlash. Many celebrities tweeted their disapproval. Sarah Michelle Gellar said, "Well, I guess I'm canceling my Vogue subscription. Who is with me?" Seth Rogen and James Franco used the opportunity to come up with their own rendition of the cover. They posted this photoshopped version showing their heads on Kim and Kanye's bodies. Last fall, Rogen and Franco made headlines when they spoofed Kim and Kanye's Bound 2 music video. Alyssa Milano told Us Weekly over the weekend she's pregnant. This will be child number 2 for the former Who's the Boss star and her husband. The couple currently have a 2-year-old son named Milo. At the movies this weekend, sci-fi action flick Divergent was the big winner. It came in at number 1 with $56 million. The number 2 spot was held by the family comedy Muppets Most Wanted. And coming in at number 3 is Mr. Peabody and Sherman. For Hollywood Minute, I'm Christina Muchler.
Adding a unique flair when deciding a child's name is the becoming trend for celebrities. Actress Kate Winslet named her son after a wild animal, but she had a reason. The actress named her 3rd child, who was born in December, Bear Blaze. Winslet told Ellen's Ellen DeGeneres that she had a friend nicknamed Bear, who was a big bear hug and a great figure in her life. As for the middle name, Winslet says she and husband Ned Rock'n'Roll wanted to name their child signifying their bond. They chose Blaze because the two met at a house fire in 2011. Winslet also says Bear Blaze will be taking her last name. Kate Winslet isn't the only one with baby news. Mila Kunis and fiancé Ashton Kutcher are pregnant along with Stacy Keibler and her husband, both couples with their first child. Let's see what unique names they will be coming up with. Now for the top 3 movies that scored top numbers in box office, as are followed. Mr. Peabody and Sherman with $11.7 million. Muppets Most Wanted came in second with $16.5 million in sales. And to round out the top 3 box office movies this weekend, Divergent is number 1 at the weekend box office. The sci-fi thriller made an estimated $56 million in ticket sales. That's all I have for you in entertainment. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Rebecca. Parents are often trying to teach their children to care and help others. It is touching to see this in action. Brittany Payton was in Santa Ana, where kids were helping kids with cancer by taking a physical action to donate.
Here in the auditorium, students and teachers alike are shaving their heads for kids with cancer. CAR intermediate students are more than happy to add to this pile of hair on the ground alongside their teachers and administrators. They're going to rock the bald style this season, not for looks, but to make a difference.
I shaved my head to honor my mother who was diagnosed with breast.
Here in the auditorium, students and teachers alike are shaving their heads for kids with cancer. CAR intermediate students are more than happy to add to this pile of hair on the ground alongside their teachers and administrators. They're going to rock the bald style this season, not for looks, but to make a difference.
I shaved my head to honor my mother who was diagnosed with breast cancer during the summer and my godmother who is still getting treated for cancer right now. She has all the types and I wanted to honor her because she's been through so much and I feel bad that she wasn't able to come and support me, but in reality I'm supporting her. I feel excited that I won't have to waste a lot of money with shampoo and everything else, but I'm excited because I get to show off and tell the story and how I came to shave my head to conquer childhood cancer.
I think they get a real sense of we can help other people. I feel like so often our kids are on the receiving end of a lot of help, and this is really something positive that they can do, and they can see the results right here and the passion and the caring.
I shaved my head today to cure the people that have cancer and for they could have hair and not feel bad that they don't have.
Students as young as 10 years old participated at this event. This was even a second or third time for some. Overall, both groups of teachers and students expressed excitement to be raising money together as one team for one cause.
Well, there's nothing better in this world than kids helping kids. So just seeing the camaraderie between kids to help for a good cause just brings a smile to everybody's face.
So Team 608 raised $1,102.
Because it's my second year shaving and I have an aunt, she died of cancer, and that's why I'm shaving my head.
As some shave their hair for support for personal friends and relatives, many participate because even a fellow student here at Carr Intermediate has a cancer story to share.
Victor is a survivor of leukemia, and he died in elementary school. 2008. In remission since 2008. And he has been in remission since 2008, and he is here and healthy and here to support us. And he didn't want to go forward because he's already been there and done that. So, but he's supporting us, and we're so glad that he's here.
That's going to do it for us here at OC News. I'm Jen Moynihan.
And I'm Cynthia Laliker. We'll see you on the next edition of OC News.